Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with an update video. We'll have a bit of a chat about what's been going on in Spain over the last few days while I take my dog Mia for a walk. So let's go. Now I'll get the weather out of the way. As you can see, another cloudy start to the day here. It normally clears up around 11, 12 midday, so that's something to look forward to today. And also a bit windy, as we can see from that tree over there. Cool temperatures, typical for this part of Portugal at this time of the year, and not like some of the hot temperatures that we've seen in some parts of Spain and the interior regions of Portugal. So that's a pro. So what are some of the things that have caught my attention in the Spanish press over the last few days or so? Well, it's all about the new animal welfare law that was passed back in March, I believe. We've been speaking about it on the channel recently in recent live streams. This topic has popped up because people are concerned about what exactly will change when it comes to owning pets, for example dogs, mainly dogs, because one of the big changes is that as of the 29th of September, I believe, it's going to become compulsory for every dog owner in Spain to have insurance for their dog. That's right, the 29th of September, obligatory, mandatory dog insurance. And a lot of people are asking questions like, how much is this new insurance going to cost me? Well, I've got some figures. I don't think there's any exact figures out there. Lots of insurance companies are advertising pet insurance or dog insurance at the moment. But according to one expert, he says around 50 euros per year for a normal dog and around 100 to 150 euros per year for dogs that are considered to be dangerous breeds. And that's something that I'll point out as well, that insurance for dangerous breeds has been in place for years now. That is nothing new. But for normal dogs, for example, like my dog Mia, who I have sitting next to me here, it's going to cost me around 50 euros a month. Now, there are lots of insurance companies offering pet insurance, and I'm sure more will pop up. And that's good news for dog owners because there's going to be lots of competition when it comes to getting your dog insurance or your pet insurance. They might even throw in a gift, which has happened in previous times with other insurances. If you take out an insurance with a bank insurance company, they might throw in a set of pots and pans or something like that. So keep an eye out for some type of special offer and maybe an included gift. But companies like Mafre, the big insurance companies, Adeslas also are offering pet insurance, and I'm going to have a look exactly what the Adeslas prices are, so bear with me. Okay, so I found the Adeslas insurance offer. Adeslas is owned by CaixaBank, one of the big banks in Spain, and as I said, I use Adeslas for private health insurance, but this is not a sponsored video. I'm just putting this out there because it is a company that offers an insurance for pets, and the price that they have here for the basic coverage, their basic service, is €5.85 a month, €5.85 a month. So if we do the maths, times that by 12, and that's what you will pay annually. And what do you get for that? Well, in the case that your dog dies, they will give you €1,000 to cover the costs. If your dog gets stolen, you will get €800 to cover that cost as well. Civil responsibility, that's the most important thing because that's what this new law points out, and you get up to €200,000 covered for that, and as I said, around €5.85 a month. Now, they have a complete insurance option, which obviously is more expensive. In fact, this one starts at €24.74 a month, and what you get with this is obviously the same things that you get with the other one, the things that I just mentioned. But if you decide to go for the €24.74 option a month, you will also get veterinary assistance, which will cover some of the costs. You can have unlimited pet visits, that's also included. You get reduced prices when it comes to dental revisions for pets as well. And they offer some other services when it comes to pets, for example, telling you where you can find pet-friendly hotels, and also residencies in case you go away, need to leave your dog for a week or so in one of these pet hotels or residences. They also tell you about that, but €24.74 a month. So pricey, but I'm sure that there are people out there willing to pay that money for their pet if they're not doing it already. And I'm sure that some people will choose the more expensive option over the cheaper option, considering that it is now compulsory, because if you have to take your dog to the vet, it can be pricey. If you get one of these insurance insurances, of course, it's going to take care of some of those costs. So for some people, that could be a pro. But I imagine that the majority of dog owners will go for the cheaper options in order to avoid possible sanctions or fines when this new law comes into place and you don't have that obligatory pet insurance. Now, another aspect of this new animal law, the most controversial aspect of this new animal law, is that some animals are not included in the new law. For example, hunting dogs and other animals that are used for work purposes, not included in this new law. And as I said, a bit controversial. And a lot of people are having trouble to understand why hunting dogs are not included in this new law. I think it's a fairly simple answer, and it is that the hunting lobbies in Spain are quite strong. They managed to lobby the most powerful side of the government when this law was being passed. Podemos apparently wanted to include hunting dogs, but the PSOE side of the government didn't want to include hunting dogs in this new law. So as I said, the hunting lobby's quite strong, as we know, in Spain. Now, in last night's live stream, where this topic popped up, some people mentioned that their pets are covered in their home insurance. So that could be something to look into. As long as the pet is covered for that civil responsibility in your home insurance, you are covered. And I suppose that you won't have to get another insurance on top of that. But don't quote me on that, and we'll look into that a little bit more in coming days and weeks. So the new animal welfare law, no doubt going to be controversial when it does come into effect at the end of September, so we'll keep an eye on that too. Now, keeping on the subject of animals and the way animals are treated in Spain, I was sent an article last weekend by viewer John about an Irishman that was gored by a bull at a running of the Bulls Festival here in Spain, and it wasn't the most famous running of the Bulls Festival in Pamplona. It was a small village in the region of Murcia where this person was gored and ended up in hospital. Apparently, as I said, he was running with the bulls in this small town. And that's one thing that I'll point out, is that the running of the bulls is not limited to the San Fermin festival in Pamplona. This happens in many villages and towns around Spain. In fact, every summer you will see these events take place in different parts of the country. And this Irishman, as I said, thought it would be a good idea in this small town in Murcia, not thinking about the fact that they don't have any hospital services in that town. There was only a field hospital set up for this event. He decided to run with the bulls and ended up having a bad day, and as I said, ended up in hospital with a gore wound to his neck. Not sure how serious it was, but serious enough for this person to end up in hospital. And I said the other day, I asked the question, how stupid do you have to be to run with the bulls in a small town in Spain? Pretty stupid, I think. Now, hopefully this Irish gentleman is able to recover, get back to leading a healthy life, and doesn't have any long-term health effects as a result of getting gored in the neck by a huge bull. And I think he was also knocked over by the bull and left unconscious, so hopefully no problems there either. But as I said, a fairly silly thing to do. He obviously got caught up in the moment, and if you are going to do something like this, make sure that there is a good hospital with good hospital services close by, and not a temporary field hospital and then they have to take you to another hospital in another town, because that could complicate things. So think twice about doing this type of thing, and if you are going to do it, make sure that there are good hospital infrastructures close by. That would be my advice. Now, an interesting article that caught my attention the other day is about some of the things that you can and can't be charged for when you go to a bar or restaurant in Spain. Some of the extra costs that the bar or restaurant might throw onto the bill. Some of them are legal and some of them are not. For example, outdoor seating areas might be charged a supplement if you sit outside, but of course it has to be listed somewhere in the restaurant that they are going to charge you for that. For example, on the menu, it might say that there is an extra charge, 10% for example, for sitting at the outdoor seating area, or the terrace, terraza, as they say in Spanish. But there are some other things that the restaurants can't charge you for. For example, tap water. A bar or restaurant cannot charge the customer for tap water, even though some places might try to do so. Another extra that you can't be charged for at restaurants and bars in Spain is making a reservation. You can't be charged for that, although some places in the past have tried to do it. The consumer organisation, the OCU, has pointed this out, that in the past some places have tried to charge customers for making a reservation. Not sure how much, but they try to throw it onto the bill at the end of the meal. So watch out for that one too. And another thing that you can't be charged for when you go to a restaurant in Spain, according to this organisation, the OCU, is a concept known as el cubierto. Sometimes restaurants will charge you for that. You'll see it on the bill, servicio por cubierto. But according to this organisation, as I said, it is not allowed. However, there are some things that might end up on the bill at the end of the meal which restaurants can charge you for. For example, bread, el pan. They can charge you per person for bread. I've seen this very often, and that is not illegal. And also the aperitivo. You might go into the restaurant and they put down a small plate of food. You eat it thinking that it is free, and they can charge you for that also. So be careful, and if you don't want bread, or if you don't want that aperitivo, just say, please take it away, and normally they will oblige. And remember that if you do have an issue with a bar or restaurant in Spain and you think that you have been overcharged, or something else happens that you are not happy with, there's always a complaints book that you can fill out. It's called the Hoja de Reclamaciones. So always ask for that if you have a complaint with the particular establishment. That would be my advice. And the final thing I want to talk about today, I'll briefly talk about this, is that it's a big week for Spanish politics. Tomorrow, the 17th, I think, is the day that the politicians come together in Madrid, and the two big political parties, the PSOE and the PP, the Partido Popular, are going to try and form a government. Don't know if it's going to be possible. Time will tell. Of course, the PSOE is relying on Catalonian fugitive Carles Puigdemont to get them over the line, and if he's not on board, I don't think they will have enough support. And as we know, the Partido Popular doesn't have the votes either. So we'll see what happens tomorrow when it comes to getting a new government in Spain, so stay tuned for that. On that note, I'm going to wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. If you have an opinion on any of the topics that I have spoken about today, the comment section is the place for you. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego, from a cloudy Portugal.